what I'll be doing in this speech is basically responding to everything that was said in the negative speech. The first thing that was stated was that of their opposite value, and I believe throughout this debate round I'm going to prove to you why their value actually doesn't work in a true debate sense. Now, firstly, they were talking about how civil disobedience undermines democratic equality. And my response to this is simply democracy is for the people. Again, democracy is for the people. Because a democracy is for the people, because it is actually built on equal political power, that's why civil disobedience is in fact justified. Because whenever something goes against someone's beliefs, they have the right to go against it. Next was they were talking about how civil disobedience harms the rule of law. And basically, I don't believe that they are actually looking at the definition of civil disobedience. Again, the definition of civil disobedience, as I defined in my speech under one of my contentions. Because civil disobedience is because civil disobedience is not violent and it's not causing any harm to people, it does not harm the rule of law because people are not committing huge crimes. Next, their entire point about how democratic remedies exist. They even stated in the point that they made that disobedience is unnecessary if legal channels exist. That's not what I'm here to prove. What I am here to prove to you is that civil disobedience in a democracy is morally justified. Because civil disobedience is in fact morally justified. Because as I stated in my value, the value is justice. If you go out into the world and you see something is wrong, you're most likely going to correct that because that's what you're supposed to do. And lastly, they got into their voting issues, which were basically a repeat of everything that they stated in their speech. The first of that was the framework, and they were talking about how they must maintain democratic legitimacy and equality, and how civil disobedience violates those duties. However, as I've proven in my speech today, I believe that that is not the case. And next was the entire thing of rule of law, and I believe I responded to that fairly well, but I believe that civil disobedience is not violating the rule of law because it's not violent. And next they were talking about how there are better alternatives. And as I stated before, even in their speech, they stated that people believe civil disobedience is okay when there are no better alternatives. And that's what I'm arguing today. It's not that civil disobedience is always the answer. It's that civil disobedience is morally justified. Thank you.